We're not all financial experts, but luckily we know a great one. Coach Pete is back from Capital Financial Group to help us better understand our money. Thank you so much for being back here with us.
Always fun to be here.
Yes, always love having you. I learn something new every time. So we're going to break down some kind of complicated finance things. Today we're going to talk about compound interest. Okay, this is something we hear about, but maybe we don't understand. So what are the basics of compound interest?
Well, you'll understand it when you get that credit card bill. Right? It's no fun, and if we charge more and we have a high interest rate, we're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble. So interest can either work for you or against you, and so the objective here of life is to have interest work for you.
Sure.
When people played Monopoly, remember the classic Monopoly game?
Yes.
Well, when you own stuff, you made money off other people. When people landed on your place with a hotel, they had to pay you interest, basically. So, and people who had all the most places like that and collected the most interest probably won.
They win,
and so we need to take that same philosophy into the modern day. So when you think about it, a lot of the childhood games trained us for life. Monopoly, a good one. The life game. Remember the game of life?
I love the
Either go left or right. Sometimes you go to college, sometimes you don't. And then the guy, you become an internet tycoon or something like that.
Exactly. Didn't go to college.
Yeah. So here's what we do. Here's what gets most people in trouble. They pay too much interest and they don't pay the balance off of the cards, or maybe you have a mortgage and you're paying a lot of interest.
Right, because they're just chipping away at that interest.
This has been a historic benefit and windfall for people who've taken advantage of the refinance boom.
Okay.
You get a house down, you can get interest rate under 3% now, which is crazy.
You sure can. Yeah. So we know how it's working against us. We're sort of chipping away at us. It's building. How can we make compound interest or interest work for us?
Well, it's a double whammy. If you can pay off the high interest rate, it's working for you. It went from working against you to working for you because you're not paying it out anymore. So you've pulled the emergency brake up. You stopped the bad stuff. Now the secret is to go forward and go forward as quick as possible. In other words, highest interest rate as possible. So there are some vehicles and techniques out there that get people a lot more interest, but then we need to look at taxation because that interferes with your interest. If you're making a lot of money on interest, taxation comes creeping in. So we need something called tax deferred, which you don't pay the tax till later on, or tax free, which you never pay tax on the interest.
Okay.
These are all things that work together in a total retirement plan, part of a financial plan, part of a successful lifestyle, and part of not ever worrying about the financial world. So what we do is we help people identify bad interest and good interest. Of course, you know what bad interest is.
Sure.
And sometimes one spouse wants to pay the credit cards off, the other spouse is charging away.
Yes.
So the secret is to have an agreement with your spouses first, and then make sure to have a strategy to get that debt paid off and have that debt work for you now in the future. In other words, money you're not paying out is paying in at you. You should be the biggest debt collector of your money. You should be saving for your retirement.
Sure. So there is good debt and bad debt. So what's the difference for people out there? Because we want to pay off the bad ones and keep the good ones.
Well, bad debt is anything over 10%, in my opinion. Even 8% nowadays when we can get mortgage rates so low. So credit cards are high. So the secret number one is don't charge you can't pay it off at the end of the month.
Okay.
That helps your credit too if you're paying your stuff off. And if you're charging, actively charging is a good thing for the credit card as long as you're not charging too close to the credit limit.
Okay, all right. All right, well, thank you for the great advice. I'm a charger, so I'm going to have to be looking at some of my behavior here. We appreciate you being here.
Well, let's do this. So, we'll put a plan together for the next 10 people that incorporates having to get the interest paid off the right way and also building a retirement income. The retirement income is the most important part of the whole retirement planning process.
Okay, you and I have more to talk about off camera for sure. Guys, if you are interested in getting a financial review to make sure you are on track for your retirement, text or call Coach Pete at 888-919-9001 to set up a free financial review.